Think of doing a thiamine megadose after watching some. I wouldn't. I would not. Hook rider, I would not. Yeah, there's a rate limiting amount of enzymes that can only take so much, and overloading some of those enzymatic pathways isn't a good idea because they're tied into the electron chain. It's like taking high doses of niacin, not a good idea. It's not species appropriate. There is a certain level that we take in, and that's it. I don't agree with the megadosing of thiamine or any of the B vitamins, in particular pantothenic acid, which can cause insomnia in high doses because it does store to some extent. So you're basically just pushing money down the toilet in those megadoses. Yeah. So fatigue, chronic, all this sort of stuff. In many cases, I've had people take taurine. They may have, liver issues or other things like that. Taking choline and taurine really, over some time, usually clears away all those symptoms. I used to have that sort of stuff as well, headaches and stuff like that. And once I got taurine and choline into the system, because you may have some genetics similar to me, and may be able to not do certain methylation issues. It's not a thiamine issue that's going to solve it. It's going to be fixing up the methylation pathways and supporting them with riboflavin, which is in meat. Just eat more meat, you'll get riboflavin. So that'll fix that methylation pathway. And the choline pathway, if you got that as well, just eat more eggs or take a supplement of choline, and it usually fixes that as well. So, yeah, we got to be very careful about these sort of things. Taurine can be taken. You can actually have a lot of taurine, not an issue. It has a lot of benefits, but a number of these other things like megadosing, when it comes to vitamins and minerals, can be a problem. So I don't like doing it. There's a time to do it for a small period of time, but no, I wouldn't do it, mate. And as I say, show me the actual evidence. Not just because somebody uses a reductionist pathway and says this pathway needs to be supported and somehow and all that. Because sometimes there are other reasons. One thing that he doesn't know or he's not very aware of is things like deuterium depletion, mitochondrial damage and dysfunction. There can be a whole lot of other reasons why those two enzymes in energy production are not working properly, because there are further downstream other damaging issues that need to be corrected. So it's a very simplistic approach. Everything's like a nail, and not so much. So when it comes to vitamins and minerals, they're all cofactors. So vitamins and minerals are a whole lot of enzymes. There are so many enzymes and so many enzymatic processes and so much energy that can be produced in the system that requires a certain amount of cofactors, not an endless amount. It's just expensive urine, and sometimes can actually create imbalances in absorbing other things. So not a good idea thing. Wherewith something which is a sulfur amino acid or choline or, something like that, or amino acids themselves, that's not a problem. That's not going to basically, your body will just excrete them out of the feces, and you're not going to have a problem, if it can't handle the overload. But you physically will find it very hard to consume, that amount anyway in aminos and stuff like that, unless you really force yourself. And even then, it's not going to cause any of these sort of issues. But, vitamin mineral imbalances can cause a whole lot of other issues themselves. So you've got to be very careful. You're playing with fire, and it's a double-edged sword. And it's not what our species has ever done historically. Short term, if you want to build up certain vitamins, B vitamins and all that, do some organ meats. Much safer. It can be far better regulated than the influx which you get from a supplement.